Hello everybody, let's give it a few minutes for everybody to kind of like come together. So please tell me where you're from and we will start in just a few minutes. So here is some music for the beginning. Oh, we have Capricorn in the house. Okay, music is almost done. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully everybody's having some coffee with cream, coffee with milk. Look at this, Pisces. Hi, I see some new faces over here. Welcome, 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 welcome everybody. Hi Tori dear, how are you doing? Look at that, another aqua. We have the air energy in the house. Lati is Gemini here as well. So who else is? Oh, Virgo Sun and also Aqua Rising. So here we have some influence. Hi Barbie, how are you doing, sweetie? Oh, by the way, announcement. There are like some new changes happening. Now, we kind of like really want to make this process of giving this like 15-minute reading really fair. And I really can use any help that I can get. And Lati has been my right hand for quite a while right now. So Lati is going to be in charge of all the mods. And so she's going to be the one who is going to decide which mod is going to be in charge of the day. Sometimes I'm going to ask her before time that she is the one. So don't get upset if she doesn't delegate this. But there are rules about that. If you assign a friend of yours to be a winner, then you're going to lose mod privilege because it's just not fair, and your friend is not going to get a reading. So this is like supposed to be just basically merit based, and I obviously have Libra rising, so blame it on me. So Lati is going to be in charge, kind of like making sure about it. Both Lati and I are empaths, so we will know, trust me. So the bad things out of the way. Good morning, Lars. It's good to see you there. So look at Toronto, not the cat. Hello, sweetie. Where in Toronto are you? I am in a Blue West Village here. It's kind of like overcast, coldish. So New York, Leo. Nice to see Leo energy too. So Sally. Oh, Sally. Good morning, Sally, sweetie. How are you doing? My friends. I consider you guys my friends. Is this kind of like okay to say? I hope it is. Okay, so we are starting with air. I'm using, what is this called? Everyday Witch and Mystical Cat Tarot that you see us using basically for our graphics on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. So Lati is a really, really big help with that. So thank you, Lati. And also thank you to all the kind of mods, because they're doing really, really amazing jobs. So yay. All right, not the cat. So you like, I'm in the West End, so we are not really, really far. So Wisconsin. So let's start. Which one do I start as the main ones? And let's go with these guys with them as main ones, and these ones as secondary ones. Okay, look at it. We have Holland. Hello, Europe. And well, Tori, I was the same way. I am permanent insomniac, and recently I got this book. It's called 3-Season Diet, and it is basically Ayurveda. It's kind of like talking about that we should eat seasonal stuff, but he also has a big chapter on sleeping. So I'm actually following this, and believe it or not, I'm actually sleeping a tiny little bit more. So hopefully over time it's going to work out. So let's start. Air. So Lati, if you could, why, or we can vote. I kind of like want to honor basically Libras, because this is their season for the first, and then we can vote. So Lati, you can decide. You can tell now who. Oh yes, Lati, sweetie, yeah, you have been pretty badly sick. You can pretty much assign a moderator right now whenever you feel ready, so that moderator is aware of what they need to do and tell them everything that has to happen. Okay, sweetie? So you are in charge of the forum. So let's start. Let's start with air. Let's start with air. Air. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Air. Let's start with air, and then everything else will be out for voting. Air. I'll just put this a little bit down so you can see it. Air. What is this? Like on the side? I thought I got it, but... And then I have to wait a few minutes, because what I see and what you see is kind of like delayed on my screen. Okay. Air. 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 Oh, Barbie. Okay. Barbie, did you get that? You will be in charge of giving the 15-minute win, and also that means that you will have to make sure that they are present also, and that they actually put their email, and Lati is going to tell you where they need to send it. This is like www.catterra.ca/request, but they have to put email here as well, so that way there's no confusion. Okay. And then Lati and I are going to check it and like empathically. So air, there is like something coming out. Cat magic, it's reversed. Air, what are we scheming? This is kind of like feeling really determined to kind of like do stuff, but kind of like not really that we care how stuff is really done, if it's done properly or not. Yesterday I was trying to install a water tank with my dad, and this could be it. At one point I was saying, F it, you know what, I'm just going to cut this pipe to make it shorter. I'm not doing it right anymore, and if you know me, you would know that I don't like to cut any corners. So this energy kind of like has the energy of like being really dedicated to goals, but really not choosing means. So we need to be really careful about that. Okay, air. Thanks, Barbie. Air. 6 of fire. Winning at all cost. Air. Okay. We have, hi Safi. We have also the moon reversed. And we have Ace of Fire reversed. So this is kind of like really mixed energy over here. We actually have 2 fire. What are we missing? We are missing earth. So it's not going to be grounded, weak. Good morning, Oksana. It's going to be really all about winning. We are going to be extremely determined to move forward, to advance. Where is like my other deck? I want to look into this a little bit. This is kind of like really, really interesting. Look, we have the 9 and we have 1 over here. So we are actually moving in some kind of direction, but almost like in a shrewd manner. And we know, air signs, come on, let's be a little bit honest. We can kind of like really do it at times, especially when we are short on time or on energy. Because everything here is telling me that it's going to be about kind of like standing out, kind of like being on top, pushing it forward. However, this is also a week where we are kind of like getting out of some kind of like slump, and Ace of Fire reverse generally is really not a great position, but in this case I'm kind of like feeling it a little bit differently. I'm kind of like feeling it that we are kind of getting rid of the old patterns. Anything that was confusing us is gotta go. Maybe this is going to spring or fall cleaning, whichever part of the planet you are, but it's going to be, I am so sick and tired of this. I kind of like don't want to kind of like push it forward. I really want to look into the Ace of Fire before I start with birthday Libra. Oh, that's good. Dean was what do you mean she learned online? Okay. Hi Kylie, sweetie, how are you doing? Let me just do this. What is this Ace of Fire for air over here? Pleasure seekers. I do not, well, yes or no. I kind of like really didn't feel this is all about pleasure, even though I don't know if you can see it here. One kitty is like so proud and everybody else is kind of like bringing the goodies and gifts, and that basically generally really talks about the winner takes it all kind of a thing. But pleasure seekers in Gypsy deck is kind of like a mixed bag card. I generally see it as a negative because it kind of like talks about three-party kind of like situations, somebody kind of like straying out, and also kind of like, to me, it's really telling me kind of like getting rid of bad company. I have a feeling that there are here irritants. It is kind of like interesting. I was reading an article this morning, and this is going to be especially interesting for women, even though men might be interested. It is on thestar.com, which is the paper in Toronto over here. It used to be called Toronto Star, but now it's thestar.com. So it is about a woman, a professor, who, what is this, Coach Taylor? So she just kind of like said, I'm going to try to do it for a while, to be kind of like that arrogant, dismissive, kind of like very kind of like, I mean, brick wall approach. So when somebody would like be in a meeting, she would just say, I don't think so. And she's like, I was surprised, this kind of like machoism, that kind of like really big times testosterone driven thing actually does work. She said, not only was I more respected, I was kind of like elevated, I was asked to do stuff, and she said, in my mind, this was just like horrifying. It's kind of like really interesting. You can go and read it in more details if interested. So it's a really human study, and as you know, that kind of interests me. Yeah, you see, I was right. We have the death reversed, and also the conversation. There is the end of story. And air sign, really guys, if you know anything about air, you cross that imaginary kind of like line, you're a goner. Gone you are. And if you kind of like mess with us, this is just like not going to kind of like work. That's kind of like it is. So okay, so let's do this. Let's start with Libra. Just to let you know, guys, I'm not advocating that you behave this way, because as you know, I ask you what you want. I'm trying to be inclusive. I'm trying to kind of like see how I can benefit and help the most, and that kind of like testosterone driven stuff will not work on me. I guarantee you that. Whenever I work for a company where that attitude was applied, I would leave. But I guess, you know, some people are just sheep. What can you say? Okay, so let's see. We got Libra. Hi Barbie. Our mod is Libra. So, and we have 9 of Wands. It makes sense. And we have 2 of Wands. That's interesting. Look at this, Libra. You are this, you are like in tarot deck shown with a card number 11. That card is called Justice. And we have 9 and 2, and that kind of like makes it 11. So here we are talking about somebody who maybe has been bruised with life, somebody who has, look, she kind of like had all kind of like these wands that kind of like burned out, kind of like a witch that kind of like really needs a little kind of like help over here. And even the kitty is sort of like hiding. But this is really talking about just like pushing it, that very kind of last step. Because after 9, it comes 1, which we have here, and then 2. So Libra, you're going to go even one step further. It sounds to me there are like some kind of like all obstacles that at this stage right now are clearing. At this stage, you see this kind of like globe over here. It is like your life. What kind of life do you want to build? Do you want a life on kind of like some bad kind of like principles, kind of like just meandering? Or you're going to say, this needs to stop, this can go, and kind of like make this what they call it executive decision. I kind of like tell my friends that I have a list. Well, it doesn't really exist, but it's imaginary list where, you know, people have access to me, or they don't have access to me. Even my friends don't have access to me because I'm personality, I'm very aloof, I need a lot, so I feel like I'm in private time. But if you're off the list, I pretty much think you're staying off the list. So let me see, Libra. What is the angel card? What is the angel card? Okay, Libra, vision, exactly as I said. What kind of world you're going to build for yourself? In what kind of direction will you go? And I kind of like it says soul, sight, what is this? Future on the card. And kind of like when I looked at it from a distance, because I have astigmatism, I did see the letters, but it looked like a post stamp. And I wondering like if you're putting your stamp on something and simply just like sorting things out to kind of like move that in the future. So Audrey, yes, who was that? Maya Angelou. I really go with this. And you know, I'm not going to name any names, but like when you look at the other tarot readers, when I hear swearing, when I hear people attacking people, I mean, there is a difference, because sometimes I attack, but I really think I'm kind of like really defending with reasons versus going in ad hominem, which to me is like non-tolerable. You have to be aware of that energy is coming through to you. So also, you know, some tarot readers are like sort of like a mental disease on steroids, and they really need help, and they're not even aware of that. So mind you, we all choose tarot reading because we had some issues in our own life, and some of us really here willing to help. That's why I was asking, guys, do you really like these like twin flames, or like, because I can really save myself some time, and then it looks like you do. So you're making me work. Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. And it's not that I don't swear, it's not that I'm perfect, but you see, I had this school and I had to keep my energy really high, and I find each and every time that kind of like that energy kind of like comes through. And also, I don't use drugs, I rarely drink. The only really vice of mine is food, and I really have to work on that. But I should really stop eating meat as well, because I'm kind of like finding it really difficult just simply looking that this kind of like has been somebody's animal and somebody's pet. But it is what it is. We all have to deal with our own vices. So let me just see who is next, guys. Which one do you want me to do it? We can choose Aquarius, or we can choose Gemini. Well, Lati, you're right. Like, I mean, like my basically, I don't even watch tarot. I watch, what's her name? Christelle Martinet. And she might not be everybody's taste. I really like her. She is also a PhD, and she's like eloquent. She knows how to intuitively connect the concepts, and she is not catering to anyone. It's kind of like she knows her spiel. So you will find that actually even the most popular people are almost like a McDonald's restaurant, and they kind of like really tell you sugarcoating stuff in order for you to order it. I really think for people who really do the real change in life, you really have to work on your own words, right? Because life is not smooth sailing. So let me see. Oh, there you go. Expert 13. Gemini. Aqua. Who is this? I missed this. I got 2 Aquas. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius it is. Come on, let's see. As Aquas, we have 2 of Pentacles. We are juggling lots of things. Aqua and the Emperor. Now, this is a really good energy. It's going to be a lots of loving energy. It's going to be feeling winning, but it's going to feel winning in a really, really good way. If you look at here, look, he's trying to balance himself on this teeter-totter kind of like done, but look how the little thing can kind of like set you off. It's just like my 75-year-old dad now wants to buy a motorbike because they stole his car, and it's just like that. You're 75. Well, not yet. Well, in a few months. And this is kind of like me trying to kind of like understand that he still has that need of independence and just kind of like take away that toy from him. This can also mean that somebody juggles in your life, and if that was like happening, then, you know, again, we are going to establish, put, you know, the crown on and rule this. Kind of like, weirdly enough, just what I was saying, we shouldn't be doing this kind of like machoism principle. Kind of looks like this is exactly what we will do. It's going to be executive decision, and this is what needs to be done, and it's going to be listened. The Emperor is also talking about inner maturity, but the decisions are not necessarily guided via some kind of like emotional response. Like the Empress would be caring and loving. The Emperor would be like, what I really need to do, like, I mean, what I need to have in the fridge. It's kind of like would be that operations manager, right? Kind of in a company, you have to make sure you have supplies and stuff. It's kind of like more looking at it. It looks like we are going to be very, very, very busy. So yeah, imagine like a dad on a motorcycle. It's just like, and then I said to him, kind of, can we get you a tricycle? I know this is for the children. Well, you know, and he doesn't even have a good balance. So I don't know. I don't know. My brother is like beyond himself. He said, you're going to last a week with this. So I don't know. I know that he's going to buy it. Respect. I really think we'll be demanding respect, or we'll be gathering respect. Yay, good for us. Usually Aquarians are not taken seriously. I don't know, guys, if you noticed that. It's just like no matter what we do, it's kind of like people kind of like fizzle around us. It's just like, nah. And the reason for that is like very simple. You know, people take you for granted when you are very friendly, and kind of like many genius ideas, I call them, just kind of like go away. But that's going to be different this week. It's going to be something that we are going to kind of like apply ourselves, and it's going to be a really, really good result. So let me just like see, just Expert 13, what will you do? Oh no, Dean, that means that you're just not going to be in charge. Did you not hear the instructions? I am putting complete orders that if you put your friend in charge or give them a reading, you're losing a mod privileges, and this person is not getting a reading. So that's it. All right, so Gemini. How many Geminis do we have here? Yeah, exactly. It's unfair, and it would be horrible if like other people see that, then like nobody would kind of like, it kind of like gives you this bad feeling. I always, when I make decisions, I'm kind of like asking myself, how would that make me feel? And I would feel like really slighted. I would feel, oh, what the heck is going on? This is just a gang. So I want to be more inclusive. So I know that you were laughing, you were like kidding, so just putting my foot down on this one. Okay. All right. Brooklyn, you come very often. We are considering you for a mod anyway, so, but that requires being here all the time. So let me just like see, Gemini. Ooh, Gemini is like talking big times. we have Five of Swords and Justice. Look at that. And now this is really interesting. Look at this Justice card. Isn't this the cutest thing? And what does it say here? Law. Now, Gemini, you're kind of like dealing with situation. Too many cooks spoil the broth over here, obviously. There are like too many ingredients that have been placed in. And now the energies are obviously misdirected. You can see the swords flying all over the place, right? So the recipe was like faulty. So maybe a way of doing things. So this kind of like really applies on you, this general reading. The way of doing things, or maybe people around you, need to kind of like be reassessed, and you need to do it kind of like blindly. Even though she's speaking, I don't know if you can see it here in the card, she kind of like peeks through it, and it's kind of like really interesting. This is going to be applicable not only on our life, but also on our personal kind of like investment in people. So she is very grounded over here, and she's like very noble, but you know, she is looking out for herself, as we can see from kind of like peeking through it. But at the same time, she is not really going to exactly give reading to a friend or something like that, because she's like really fair. This is also a Libran card, so it's kind of like really talking about that sometimes decisions are not the easiest, because sometimes you have to kind of like go in the middle and make this compromise, which kind of like makes both sides unhappy. But I'm glad to see that for Gemini, because this whole energy is like sort of like revival on all levels. So let me see your angel card, your angel card, your angel card, your angel card. This deck over here is called, I think, Everyday Witch Tarot, and this deck is called Mystical Cats Tarot. So we have here purification, yes, and I think purification comes to you in form of people, and that's why we kind of like had these pleasure seekers over here, because you're just like saying that certain people have been draining you, and you kind of like are tired of it, and maybe you just have been going, you know, with the flow. And the problem is, like, when you go with the flow, is like people step on you again, of kind of like airy nature of the people, but you know, they don't know that air also has a harsh edge. And I know, I'm going to tell you example. I have a few girlfriends, and I'm extremely easygoing, and that's a problem that I know I have to address. And I will tell you now why is the problem. Because, hey, are we going to eat Mexican? I'm going to eat Thai. And I'm always like, I'm fine with everything. Like, I'm not choosy. I'm not going to eat exactly some gross stuff, like, but exotic stuff, but everything regular, yes. And then I remember once I wanted to really do something myself. It was actually a movie I wanted to watch. No, they would just like roll over me. And I said, okay, now I know that you guys are not even listening to me. So we need to assert ourselves before things go too far, because then people just kind of like assume you that you are like that kind of like meek thing. And then when they see that tornado, it's just like, oh my God, what happened? Kind of a thing. So I really think there's like a lots of assertiveness with Libra to some kind of like lesser extent, kind of like softer, but both basically Gemini and Aquarius will really kind of like have a firm stand. Interestingly enough, also, that these two cards are actually the opposite in zodiac, and there is like that Libra Aries tangent. So it's going to be strength and control and stability combined with fairness. So this is kind of like really good. And you can see that I'm starting, obviously, Libra rising kind of like a thing already with it, kind of like, let's be fair over here on the forum, and go with that. Okay, so let's go. Now we can open voting, and now we can see who's next. Letty. Hey, Temperance Rising, good morning. I was actually waiting for you. I have some news for you, sweetie, today. Every 2 weeks, moderators cannot put other moderator to win the reading. I don't know if you guys knew that. Only I can choose which moderator is going to get their 15 minutes. So I pick one every 2 weeks. And this Temperance Rising time right now. So Temp rising, you are going to have to send me your info via this link over here, and that's all it is. So you guys need to vote which element is next. We just finished air signs, sweetie. Okay, so good morning to all the newcomers. Guys, please don't forget to please like, and please, well, I guess you're subscribed if you are here, most likely. You're welcome, sweetie. Okay, fire, earth, fire. I have like 3 fire, 3 earth, 4 fire. Okay, the last one will fire. The last one will decide, so it was fire. So let's start. Fire. A sip of coffee. I hope everybody else is having a coffee. I'm already on my 3rd cup, and that's the last. Okay, fire for this 13 to 19. Hello, Michelle. How are you doing? Hello. That's so sweet of you to acknowledge moderators, because like they're like such great people. I mean, Lati and Dean and Temperance Rising and Barbie, like, I mean, they actually take time off from their schedule and they're here, like, and that is like so awesome. I just like love them to death. Okay, so let's see this. Fire. Oh, we have something coming through. Well, we have 8 of fire, but then we have Sky King. Who is going to try to mess with you? It almost looks like that somebody will try to get kind of like tell you I love you. It's like, you know, that abusive husband, like, I mean, shaking you up and saying I love you kind of a thing. Wait a minute. More fire. And then we have a Sky Queen. No, it is actually a couple that is messing with you, fire. Let me just get one more for fire. And you got 2 more. And it is 10 of fire and Earth Kitten. I think also that I am feeling here, because look at this couple. This is a couple. We have the Queen and King of Sky, which would be swords, and that's going to look a little bit higher energy than yours. And I'm really wondering if somebody or a couple ticked you off. This could be parents that are overly, let's say, pragmatic. Maybe you want something, because look at this. Isn't this the cutest card? We all who have kitties know one of these moments when they start running around like crazies and, like, I mean, just like get out of their way. And I know, like, in my place, Safi and Matrix, they do that every day. They chase each other like nuts. And that's basically where almost looks like they have to move their lymph system. And that's kind of like what they do. So you're like into kind of like this go. I need to do stuff. This card usually is also called Love Arrows, because it shows arrows in the other decks. But here you have, like, I mean, really fire on a really high level. Mind you, it's going into the 10 later, which kind of like talks about escape from something. Maybe some situation was not evolving quick enough for you, but I do feel that some people here were in a way. Maybe this could be parents, this could be somebody at your work that kind of like you might have issues, or it could be some kind of like harsh words. I will be honest with you, where things are going to really chill after that, and it's going to take time for this like fire to stop, and it will be the best to kind of like walk away from that situation. So Edgar Allan Poe, I've been ticked off a lot for the past few days. I don't know what's up, but everybody around me is pushing my buttons. Well, that usually happens when the karma kind of like lady is telling us that we need to kind of like reestablish our boundaries, and that's kind of like a daily process. Okay, so fire, who do we do first? What? Snow? Oh my gosh, you're so much like south there. We had summer 2 days ago. Well, today is kind of colder, but we had like, I mean, 90 degrees like just 2 days ago, and we are like in Toronto. So let's see. Who is next? Who is next? Who is next? Yes, where is Hev? Where is Hev? Hev is like from South Africa. Sag. Okay, let's do Sag. Let's do Sag. 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 Okay, so what do we have here? We have Four of Pentacles. And then we have another Four of Wands reversed. And you have Ace of Pentacles. Okay, now this is really interesting. Sagittarius, are you going upstairs or are you going downstairs? You have to figure out, because it almost like feels like you're stepping on one step up and then going down, and it's just like eventually kind of like get all crazed out. You have to figure out in which direction you're going. And the reason why it's really kind of like hard to move in a new direction is because of this Four of Pentacles. Look at him. This is mine, this is mine, this is mine. For God's sake, dude. Like, I mean, you have the door closed here. Nobody's coming in. So what's the problem, right? Even Kitty is like saying like this is kind of like getting too kind of like stiff in this area. I need to kind of like get out of this. Let me just like see. Oh, it's okay. I was like wondering to move a little camera a little bit. This is like really saying that there is like stagnant energy that really needs to do, or maybe you kind of like erected your walls because of something. Maybe you're hiding something, because if you notice here, there's also like not only one but two locks, but there is like a way out. The problem is like when you kind of like close yourself off in order to protect yourself. Usually people do that after having a really painful breakup or painful relationship. And see a kitty flying in the air. It's so cute. Oh, hopefully he's not going to catch. Thank you, Adine. This is so sweet. And again, I forgot to see what is like 777. I think it's the energy of 3, which is creativity. So it helps me. Thank you. So now we have like this 2 force. This is clearly telling me Sagittarius are really going to be working on stability, on kind of trying to figure out in which direction to go. Ace of Pentacles is a really, really good card because it's one of my favorite aces, where it basically says, sure, it is just a seed, but you're kind of like figuring out in which direction you really, really want to go there. What? Just like 5 likes. Nobody likes what I'm doing. Okay, off I go. Off I go. Please, guys, just like scroll it down, and wherever you have to do it, watching on a phone, a laptop, just like it. So kind of like mods also like to see that kind of like this is kind of like helpful. So, but sometimes we forget. So please, mods, remind people to kind of like the price of entry is like. How about that? Or dislike, but it has to be one of the two. It just kind of like has to happen. So Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Let me clarify this for Saggies. Room. You know what? Usually when I see this card, I would say get a room, but here I think it's really talking about this room. And I think Sagittarians got really, really protective over themselves, over the situation they're in. And sure, maybe certain things worked that way, but I really think what you're realizing right now, that by doing that, you're actually also closing yourself from good energy coming in and from good life experiences. And it's kind of like a time to open this gate and kind of like get out of that fire and kind of like move forward. Angel card, Sagittarians. Angel card. Well, love. I think this is something you feel really depleted of. I really feel that there is like something that you almost like feel you're not worthy, or it's not going to happen to you, but you're like craving it intensely at this stage. Maybe Sagittarians, for you it means that somebody who you are with is not working anymore. This actually can also talk about a family unit, that family unit is falling apart, or the relationship is falling apart because maybe kids are interfering and engaging over here. And I really hope you get these big hugs this week. And it is time to let people in. It is not, it's for sure that they will hurt you. Let's put it this way. It is for sure. So this is basically saying, are you strong enough to know that you're going through life experiences and experience it, versus just sitting down, just like, you know, this old person, and just like pushing everybody and everything away, where these people are very people who can actually bring immense happiness. Sure, cats kind of like go around, they puke, they kind of like break stuff, but they're also such a big kind of like source of joy. So keep that in mind, Sagittarians. You really, really need big hug over here. Okay, so where do we go next? Let's go Leos. Leos. Who is a Leo here? I know Sally is a Leo. So what do we have? We have Page of Pentacles. We have Judgment, so Karma, and we have High Priestess. Wow, 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 22. You guys are going to have a big karmic push forward. You have, again, Page of Pentacles is repeating. For you, you're kind of like getting a little unstuck. Page of Pentacles is also talking about studying, about understanding of something, right? You know, like, I mean, we go through school, and I don't know if it's same for you. Maybe I'm just like not very bright, but you go through school, it's just like a funnel, somebody pushing all this knowledge. But then when you get older, this makes sense. Now what I study in math actually does make sense. Oh, you know, photosynthesis, now I get it. Kind of a thing, right? All this stuff was like all this like weird words, chlorophyll and this and this. And then when you see it, oh yes, that's kind of like how this works. All of them benefits. And something like that is going to be really clicking for you. Judgment card, especially when it's upright and you have like these two things, is maybe things from the past, and I can see that here, some kind of like finalizing certain things. The Judgment card upright talks about kind of like cleaning the slate. It's kind of like internal house cleaning. It's chemical cleaning, whatever you want to call it, dry cleaning. It's scrubbing to basically the times when they were good, because you're supposed to be able to clear this. And if this means, you know, admitting things yourself or to yourself, so be it. But that kind of like makes a really big person. And you know, when they say this is really big of you, so this is kind of like that thing. And High Priestess is like you having this instinctive and intuitive knowledge to go to Cat and get a reading. What can I tell you? It's kind of like really self-explanatory over here, and that would be Matrix, and that would be me. She also has brown hair like me, and she has tarot cards. And do we see what kind of cards she has? Not sure, but there are like couples everywhere over here that I see. So you guys are going to feel feel in the zone. This is really actually good. So let's see. Brooklyn, my insane cat left me a hairball to step in the other day. Oh, I know, it's super. It's super. And imagine if you're sleeping in the middle of the night and you're hearing that dreaded coughing, and then you know what's happening. So you have to wake up in a second, turn on the light, and carry them somewhere. That's the fun part. Presence. Yes, it is presence. It's going to be sort of like something that will be happening in the now, but it's something that is kind of like really affecting or bringing the past to basically the last point. It's like, hey, I'm the last day on this vacation and it was great, but I'm so looking forward returning back as well, and kind of like cleaning all the stuff, taking what you need to take. This is kind of like really important, because presence tells me that you guys are not going to have huge anxiety. I don't know if you know, but if you think about the past, or you kind of like dwell on the past, you feel sadness. That's how when we break up with someone, we are kind of like thinking, oh, why did that happen? So it makes us sad. And at the same time, we are like fearing, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have this person in the future. So we have this anxiety and fear. And this kind of happens in these two directions. But if we are here, we are just focusing on just doing the tarot reading. I am cooking the coffee, doing lunch. Then you actually cannot experience that. It's just like that's how we are made. Try it. I would say try it. I don't know, this card was like here. Okay, it's probably from the previous one. Now let's do, who did I miss? Aries. Oh, look at this. That's your CV healer, your thing, because I cannot type on the phone. Honestly, I really suck. I have a little kind of like 13-inch laptop, and it goes everywhere. This is like my phone. It's a little bit big, but it is my phone. Oh my gosh, your pup is outside. Oh my gosh, why doesn't he come there? So Aries, oh my gosh, look at that. You fighter, you all have a good things going. It's almost like you're managing to manage your fire. Oh boy, I'm actually like really enthused today to do the readings. Again, you have like this justice in the world, like both karma cards. I'm officially putting that as a karma card, and look at this like big wave, and you're waving to the old, and you're like taking, this is the situation where decision has to be made, what stays, what goes, something placed in balance, really good thing. And this talks about, that's it, exactly this present. Now you're clearing everything from the past. You have the ability to now reassess what you need to kind of like go to this next level. So for example, when I do my karma reading for people, I tell them this is like what you wrote for yourself, right? Because I'm reading the Akashic records. But I also tell them this can change, and can change quickly for some people, depending how determined you are to be a good person. It's not a big secret in how to be a good person. Just do good things, right? And then things change, and then you get a different message, right? Or you keep repeating the pattern. So this is giving you the option, guys. And this is probably music to Aries ears, because you guys like to kind of like push it forward and kind of like do stuff. And I am really mixing. I did put some cards in here. It's kind of like interesting. I would look for it and I would kill myself and not to find it. So it's a good thing I notice. So let's check the angel card for you. Someone asked for healing at a native ceremony I was at, and the resident cat came over and hugged. Perfect. I don't know if you guys are on my Facebook. I definitely would like to see you there, and on Instagram. And like Lati is also translating into Spanish, so we have it both in Spanish if this really helps. And what will I say it? I'm radioactive now. But like, I mean, I actually did post a video of a cat who went to animal shelter, and the kitty jumped at her and hugged her and didn't want to let go. It was like extremely touching. She couldn't adopt the kitty, and it was kind of like sad, but the reason for that was she wanted to, but she already had other animals, and that cat was like very kind of like the vet dedicated, the cat has to be the only cat in the household, so somebody who saw it adopted a cat, so it's all good. Creativity. Yes, Aries, you're going to be finding new solutions of looking at your life and looking at your problems. I think mostly it's going to be what doesn't work, which is kind of like really big. If people, when they realize things are not working well, they can really kind of like put and set in a permanent change. So it's kind of like really, really good. All right, so let's go now. Voting. We have water and we have earth. Who do we go for first? Let me try to put these cards in a proper order. Okay. Okay. Yep. That's a card that belongs somewhere else. And I thought they do the same thing there. Just a quick check while you guys voting. Water, earth, earth. It's earth, guys. Earth was quick to say, so it will be earth. I just want to check this deck. You know, one of the things about being an air sign, we get to be kind of like that professor, kind of always looking for things. I was yesterday looking at my dad. He wanted to organize everything, but he doesn't have cognitive abilities to do that anymore, and like literally everything was missing. He would open whatever you call this some greaser or something, and the lid would be off. Within a second, it couldn't be found. It was like just, oh my gosh, we spend more time looking for things than doing things. Okay, Earth, 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 Earth. What is like Vegemite sandwich? It sounds like, might is not a good word in that word. Okay. Earth, 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 Earth. The Strength reversed. Earth, 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 Earth. That's 7 of Sky reversed, which is good in a reverse situation. We have a Death reversed. What's going on, Earth? Let me get one more. Earth. Sounds like veggie. Okay. What's going on here? 10 of Fire as well. Earth is really dealing with, I think, somebody who betrayed them. I really feel that some of you are really mourning a loss of someone. And it seems to be, as I was like giving my little spiel to somebody else, that you're spending a lots of time in the past and thinking about the past. And there's like lots of suffering that I am picking up on here. The Strength card here, like all the strength that we have, and patience and gentleness is maybe out of the window. Maybe you just like feel if somebody was just like stronger, things would work out. But there are like also things that you're kind of getting to realize. I don't know if you can see it here. The kitty is like being sidetracked with this kind of like blackbirds. But this kitty here is kind of like chasing this little kind of like mousy over here. Well, not chasing, but almost like stealing from this kitty. It's just like 1 second was like your attention is like not there, and somebody's almost like grabbing things away from you. And it could be that something happened where you were not watching, that something happened behind your back, and maybe it was just like your understanding and finally comprehending. I actually love this Death card over here because it kind of like shows definitely kitty dying, which is not nice, but I don't know if you can see it. There's so many other 9 lives coming through over here, and it's kind of like that like super energy that kind of like lifts up. So it's kind of like multiple souls that are coming through. So when this reverses, it's almost like telling you that you are not working on kind of like something that needs to transform. Maybe you're stuck in a situation that for some reason is kind of like needing to end. Like there is like something that is like no longer functioning. Fire is good, fire provides warmth, but if everything is burning, then it's really dangerous, and we need to really kind of like remove ourselves from the situation. So you need to drop what is burdening you. I'm a little bit concerned about you, Earth. You're like completely out of your element. You're fish out of water this entire week. So let's see how this is going to affect particular signs. Okay, so let's see Taurus, 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 Taurus. We have the Empress and 4 of Pentacles. Now look at how lovely card the Empress here is. A pregnant woman with a loyal dog and a very, very playful kitty over here. So the Empress is about creativity, but the Empress, I also feel, giving the combination with the general part for the Earth, that you kind of like are trying to gather your own strength. You're trying to kind of like heal something from the past, and again, keeping people who are like there for you, who were there for you. This kind of like red, it really kind of like gives me this Taurus energy, because this card also does mean Taurus. It also could mean Libra as well. And especially when I combine this Empress and the Strength, right? It's kind of like really telling me that you need to work on kind of like repositioning something. you might, and Taurus kind of like does it actually, just notice there's like extra lock, 1, 2, 3 locks, making sure everything is locked. So why the heck not to close the window? You know, you need to let the air in, otherwise the things are going to get stale. And if not for you, it's like for somebody else. And I really think that it's going to be very self-protective energy for your Taurus. The good news is that you're putting yourself like first. You're kind of like understanding what you need. The bad news is that you might overdo it, kind of a thing. And I get it, like we all have been there, so that's what's going on here. So hey Kyle, sweetie, how are you doing? Like Kyle was in my school. I think the first time I see you, now we haven't done water, is next. First time I see you on live, so sweet. So, sisterhood and brotherhood. Kyle was like one of my best students, just to let you know. He is just unbelievably awesome. And you would not believe conversation he and I had. Sisterhood and brotherhood here for Taurus guys. And Kyle is Scorpio, so beware. Sisterhood and brotherhood. How is this linking here? Maybe you're kind of like shutting things down. This is not giving me feeling that you're opening to it. It's more giving up to me a feeling that you kind of like you're shutting that down. It's kind of like the whole world can stay out. I kind of like really need this time to figure out, like, because she's pregnant over here, so that something is brewing, something needs to happen. So I don't really think that the switch is going to happen. Yeah, I imagine that's Kyle. He showed up. Kyle was like, oh, I kind of like, I think he's moving. There's like a new babe in his life. Awesome energy. I'm like so proud of Kyle. He's like my son, but he's like more a friend than anything else. So guys, Kyle is like awesome fellow. He's a youngster, really young, but like really old soul, just like Lati. So let's go into my 2 school people here. Isn't this awesome? So yeah, look at him living in Colorado now. Congratulations. Yeah, I love you, sweetie. Okay, so who is this? Who do I want to pick next? Let's go Virgo. Virgo. It is so good to see you on live, Kyle. I love when guys come here. So Dean is here all the time. It's real good to see you here. So Virgo, you have 4 wands and 6 of cups. So what can I say, Virgo? You are actually going to have really lovely week. There is like possibly something from the past. I can definitely see this past connecting, but you are actually opening up to it. You see, I think you're taking an extremely positive approach to the situation and sort of like embracing, almost like having like almost like Scorpio-like approach to resolution of the system, of the pain. Let's grab it by its horns, right? You're going in it, and that is pushing you in a new direction, and like you're like really reviving yourself, Virgo. Really good. The 6 of cups can actually really talk about few things. You can kind of like meet with somebody from the past, and certain things, somebody returning back in your life, and you going to the next level with person. It's almost like looks like when I broke up with my boyfriend, you know, then they finally realize what they're missing. They come back and propose, or they kind of like now understand that, you know, loss is much bigger than perceived thing. It's kind of like really amazing. I don't know if you ever watched this. What is this called? The Big Bang Theory. When, what's his name? Harold, the skinny guy. He kind of like, do I really want her? Do I really want to settle down? Like, dude, like, I mean, you don't have really options either, but like, not only that, but like, she is amazing, kind of a thing. So it's kind of like thing like this. So let me see, Virgo, your angel card. Angel card, gratitude. Yes. And you know, gratitude is like such a positive feeling. Ever since that movie The Secret was out, I purchased their gratitude journal because it's kind of like really lovely little book. And every day or every other day, I kind of like write something little in. And immediately, no matter what mood you're in, it shifts toward like really energy. This is not, yes, you're grateful for things in your life, but I'm also grateful for my cats being healthy, for my brother's family being healthy, for my dad still kind of like putting around. And this kind of like immediately allows you to connect with everything. So it's kind of like really extremely healing energy that can happen. So it's really, really nice. So guys, please like. And who did I not have yet? Capricorn. Let's do Capricorn. 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 Kyle, I'm going to make you a moderator because you have been through my school, so you get this privilege, and I know that I can trust you. There you are. All right, so if you comment now, you're going to have the little wrench next to you. Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. Ooh, and this one wanted to come out. So you have Queen of Wands. Are you in a dating mode, Capricorn? Oh my gosh, you have 4 cards. Lucky you guys. Then you have like the Emperor reversed, pardon me, and 5 of Cups reversed. Why? And what is the last one? 3 of Swords. Oh boy, Capricorn, I was thinking this is going to be good. Well, there is like a good and bad news, just like what I saw here for Taurus. I do see, guys, that there is definitely a situation on your hands. I do see, it's kind of like lovely. Look at this card with Dragon, and Dragon kind of like puffing it out, but she still has lots of energy for everybody. Maybe you guys are dealing with a fire sign. Maybe you're dealing with Aries in particular, that kind of like had kind of like negative effect on you. But maybe you're dealing with somebody, as we saw it here, kind of like having a really wandering eye and kind of like feeling a horrible loss. Like when I see this 5 of Cups, some readers say, oh, somebody's coming back. It never worked for me that way. And it is really unfortunate, because I would be so glad to say there is like this pain of rejection. There is like this pain of somebody who maybe destabilized our life. So I guess this is a love reading, but like, I mean, on the other kind of like levels of our life, this could really mean destabilizing. It could mean losing our job and feeling kind of like rejected. And it's kind of like a normal feeling in this moment, makes us really sad. Somebody's just like cutting something bluntly off. But this Queen of Wands is still telling me that there is like this feeling of kind of like being proud and having energy to move forward in spite of everything. So you guys are going to be really feeling in your heart, and you're going to feel it in your mind, this kind of like some kind of like stuff from the past. Somebody really didn't want to commit to you, or want to control you, want to dominate you, and there was like simply no meeting of the minds in the situation. So let me see, oh, you have 2, harmony and abundance. Well, abundance is your go-to kind of like thing, and usually it's a material abundance, but I like this harmony. It shows like these 3 cups, which is kind of like really interesting, because in this card she's literally crying over like 3 spilled cups, and they're like 2 on the table, and it's also a feast on the table. So why to focus on like this vast waters and being lost in this emotion where there's a celebration happening, right? And kind of like we see these 3 cups now saying, look, things are going to get repaired. You should kind of like really try to enjoy the moment. It is kind of like really, really important. So this is kind of like a big message, because I feel, guys, that you're stuck in a situation that could be really difficult. And abundance, sure, it can be material abundance and maybe focusing and refocusing, but I really think abundance here is more or less realization that you need your peace of mind and your well-being is important. And this is really encouraging and positive, because whenever people feel positive in a situation, then pain is like much shorter and we can kind of like work through it. So kind of like good going, kind of like Capricorns. Okay, so we didn't do water, and water is next. Water is next. Let's go. Water is next. So how many water people do we still have here? Come on, water, speak up. I want to hear your signs so we can really focus on your energies here. And it's a responsibility because you'll be carrying that water energy for everybody else. Okay. Okay, hope, feel, expect. I'm stepping through a portal of slowly hatching through a cocoon. Yeah, you know, it is not easy. I was like reading for somebody yesterday, and this person had that courage card in the other deck, in the Oshozen deck, and it's showing this little flower and wildflower, you know, like when you see it on the side of the road, it's getting through the stone, and like there's like no soil whatsoever, but that strength to push it through it, you can just imagine. And we as people give up too easily, and that just like went on organically and naturally, one step at a time. So water signs, ooh, look at this double: Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Look at another Pisces over here. Okay, let's go. Water, water for this time. Water, 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 water. Oh boy, Kyle, we need to kind of like shave few Scorpios off. You should see intensity of that fellow. Okay, let's see. Water, 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 water. Temperance rising, you are water, right? As well. Scorpio with Sag, something like that. Then we have Sea Kitten reverse. There you have some kind of like water, 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 water. What do we have? We have Nine of Sea, also reversed. Eight of Earth, also inversed. We have the World, and we have the Priestess. So you know what, water? There is a question of a commitment to something or to someone. There is like, you're asking yourself if people around you stabilize you. It could be that you feel that you had to be their pillar of strength, and it kind of like turns out, hey, what about me? It looks like that maybe you put somebody else's dreams ahead of yours, which is really commendable if you're in a relationship. But it looks like, just like that story that I told you, like, I mean, going along, it's okay, but if ever so on you don't assert yourself, people will just think of you as a pushover and a doormat. So I really think something like this happened over here, that maybe you have been neglected on that level, because like these two cards, look at that, the Eight of Earth, the mommy kitty is taking them to teach them how to hunt and to observe. And here, this is talking about now this kitty can actually dream about their own things. Or do I want kittens? Do I want just to sip on the water? Do I want this catnip? Do I want to chase mice, birds, right? Well, how about some food, right? The thing is like, that you really kind of like feel there is like some kind of like level of deprivation, but it almost like sounds to me like a thought process more than anything else. It could be some kind of like rejection. It could be that somebody is like not coming through as you're hoping. So you're putting things in perspective. Is this useful for me? Is this valuable for me? And will I kind of like really feel that everything is comfortable here? And I really think you're really resolving this like for the better. You're getting this the World card, so there is like this motion of karma is resolving, you're pushing it forward, you're reaching your conclusions. This is the card that happens very much in the now. So there is a completely new view, new attitude. You're going in a completely new cycle of karma. But then you're starting that cycle with the Priestess reverse, which kind of like talks about probably very like pragmatic approach, because the High Priestess is very intuitive. She kind of like doesn't even talk. She just kind of like she kind of like observes people and let kind of like, here's the rope, you want to hang yourself, yeah, more rope, more rope. But when this is reversed, be careful, because you're more listening to what people tell you, and people use words to deceive. You know that actions are really difficult to fake, and it takes really lots of focus and concentration. But you know, that's why you need to see what they are doing. I know somebody said, just like, and also believe if they say they're bad, kind of like they probably are bad. And you know, if they treat somebody else and they yell at somebody else, not a good news. They'll do that to you even more so, because familiarity breeds contempt, right? Remember that saying. So it's kind of like really, really interesting here, but this is a really good card. It's a very positive card. If you guys are having issues at work and you want to kind of like resolve it, it's going to happen. You'll have to be very, very pragmatic about that. And also kind of like really, really watch what people do. That's kind of like the only caveat I have over here. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thanks, Kylie. Very sweet of you. Very, very sweet of you. Okay, so who do we go with first? I'm having a 3 of Cups. And I'm having a few cards, but I didn't really focus on any signs, so I'm not going to take it. Kylie. Okay, well, I have to do some reading with Kyle. So you really were on. You see, Lati, you are like such a big empath. It's unbelievable. So. Okay, so who do I go first? Let's go with Pisces. 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 Queen of Cups. Wow, that is you guys. That is like about harmony. You're going to really kind of, I really think, Pisces, you have been stifled on emotional level, and maybe this is kind of like, it felt like energy was not flowing back and forth. Maybe you have been giving but not receiving, and now you're saying, okay, this well like run dry. I'm not kind of like doing this. I kind of like really want to follow my own thing. I don't know if you can see it here. Look at this kitty here, is sitting on a throne. So this is how kind she is. Kind of like there is like something for everybody, and even this kitty is going after the water and not after the fish. So it's kind of like that harmony that is happening here, which you guys really like. And then we have 2 more cards, 6 of Cups and Ace of Cups. So you know what, guys? One door might close, another one will open. Maybe one situation, because you have a 9 of Cups. You have, oh, that's a, oh yeah, it is a sea kitten. That's a Page of Cups. We have like unbelievable amount of water. This is kind of like the moon energy over here. So you're like exclusively in emotion. You're like one big emotion. You should kind of like have a big sign, emotion, but don't, because everybody will take advantage of you then. This is kind of like really nice. 6 of Cups really talks about feeling flirty, feeling kind of like getting memories from the past, but in a good way. We can be like 60 years old and feel like a 20-year-old, like with kind of like this adrenaline, and it could be somebody new coming, it could be somebody old who is like now, maybe like maybe you kind of like did put this executive decision, either we kind of like are gentle toward each other and caring and loving, or I don't want to continue like that anymore. And I can see that here, that is kind of like working, whatever it is. Or maybe somebody else is completely coming in, and people are still doing their constructions outside. So let me see for Pisces. You got 2, faith and intention. And I really think, giving an Ace of Cups that you got here, intention is biggie here. So whatever you guys kind of like envision for yourself will be kind of like happening for you. So it's a very, very positive period, and it's really good fit for your sign. This is absolutely lovely reading. Faith is, I believe, faith in yourself, because you're kind of like understanding that certain things cannot go. For you, it is really hard to make decision. That's why you have the sign swimming in 2 different directions, and it's kind of decision to make. What do I do? Like, I mean, how far do I really want to go with this? And here, like, you're being very authentic. You're kind of like doing things yourself, and things are really working out, completely being in sync. So Cancer, Cancer. Cancer. Sorry, girl, Paul, let's go Cancer. We have, look at that. Look at that. Shall I explain what this means? This is like a Knight of Cups, is the proverbial cup. Like things are like you're lifting, even though like there are like lots of sharks in the sea. I don't know if you can see it. I think it's kind of like starting, like as Dean said, he's going out on a date with someone. I don't know, it's also 2-cup energy. It could be like that Cancer energy is going to be very lovey-dovey, or it could be that you're going to be meeting somebody, like you see, like one door closes, another one opens, much bigger, much better. It's kind of like you're not be thinking by the end of the week about what happened in the beginning, that's for sure. And it's going to be friends and celebrations and enjoyment, one of my favorite cards in a deck. So you see how like when something is like so great, there's like no need for really extended kind of like thing. This is like really, really good. Again, Cancer, the only caveat is don't get too crazy. Kind of like watch the actions, not the words, and see if they're matching their words. Very important. So let's see the angel card for Cancer. Relaxation. And I think you're going to relax, and there is like the moon over here, it's literally, and there is like a sun glare over here. You guys are going to feel really, really good. Let's say that feeling that you have when you're on a vacation, you really don't need to worry about anything other than showing up at lunch, right? But let's say like you just had your lunch, you're lying down, and like that's kind of like the feeling you're going to have this entire week, and things will just happen for you really, really naturally. So okay, like German says, sugar comes last, zucker comes to last. We are going to go to Scorpio. 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 So Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. Oops. For the readers, it's kind of like closed down energy. You're kind of like really watching someone putting the walls up, and Scorpios can get like that. I understand Scorpio energy. I grew up with a Scorpio mother. Not putting the best recommendation there, but I also have my 2 best friends are Scorpios, and I really, really understand that energy almost as good as mine. And these people really need to open up. That's why Scorpio needs to evolve. They are Scorpion when they're born, but then they have to become the fish, and after the fish they become eagle, and after the eagle stage they get into the phoenix stage. So it's really, really good about them. So Scorpios, very much in sync with this world over here. Like the world is turning around. You're kind of like realizing, maybe to some extent, you're kind of like blocking yourself from the outside world, or you know, you just kind of have some kind of like system that you have developed for yourself that kind of like works. And I really feel this has been happening for quite a while right now. It is the time to open up. It is the time to kind of like decide in which direction. What does it say? Can't tell. It is time to have a new roadmap over here. It is a tower. Life is not going to easy. It's going to kind of meander back and forth, but there is like this new resolution. Look at this, he's flipping a coin. Where should I go? It's kind of like feeling that openness, feeling that, hey, the world is under my feet, kind of a feeling. It's really, really good energy. I really like this like big roadmap, kind of like saying, hey, you know what, I am so easy in this life. And this is kind of like a really young energy, you know, like when we are like kind of 18, Kyle, where you can feel anything is open, right? When you become like 40 or 50, right, you feel, oh, okay, my life is already going this direction, so it's kind of like hard to switch there, right? And so doesn't matter how old you are, this energy is going to be very, very prevalent, and it's going to be a big switch of energy from something kind of like where you're going to feel, oh my gosh, why haven't I done this before, right? And it's going to feel almost like completely new door open. So let me see, and I think this one was, and that's exactly what it was. And now one more wants to come out. Play and release. Yes, absolutely. I can see release over here. There are some things in your life and some patterns that are serving you no longer. It is really time to kind of like get away from it, because I think maybe you have been hurt, and because you have been hurt or rejected, that you're actually not sufficiently letting other people in. And this is basically a matter of how strong you are, because people will come and hurt. Eventually they will. And it is how strong you are, how much is going to affect you. Knowing, you know what they say, it's better to have love and loss. What is that saying? What's Shakespeare? They're not to love at all. But it is about our own understanding of the situation, that we know that we have to walk away from a situation if it's not healthy for us. And when people notice that we have this like giving attitude and loving attitude, but we also kind of like understand, you know, they understand how far they can go, then you don't need to kind of like block yourself off. It kind of like it's an invisible barrier that exists. So it's kind of like releasing anything that was not serving and packing it off, and it's time to play. So it is pretty good. So guys, I really am thankful for you being here in the mornings with me. It's actually over noon right now, and that is going to really help us to go through the week with this. So it's kind of like really awesome. So until the next week, I think next week I'm doing X's series and kind of like see what's happening with that. I'm finally catching up. And then around the 20th, 21st, Scorpio is becoming the very first sign. We are going into Scorpio mode, and I'm really intrigued, because that kind of like was the sign that had lots of things. So Temperance rising, please send me that form if you haven't already. And you need to decide who is winning right now. Oh no, sorry, it's Barbie who needs to pick. So we need to kind of like announce the winner. Thank you everybody for being here. I'm really looking forward to being here with you next week. But let's announce the winner. Barbie, we are waiting. Drum roll. I probably should find a tape or MP3 of a drum roll. It would be kind of like really awesome for this announcing. And where the heck is Barbie? Barbie. Oh my gosh, Barbie's not there. Barbie's not listening. What will we do? Okay, Lati, what do we do? Looks like she is not listening right now. Barbie, please type something if you're listening. If not, we will have to get somebody else. Drum roll, there she is. Edgar Allan Poe. Lucky Edgar Allan Poe. You kind of like got it the second time. Congratulations. So, you know the form. You know the form, sweetie. Lati did give it to you. Okay, here. Cat Tarot. And the next time I'm going to ask Lati that all moderators contact me, so I kind of like have the email that I can send you every week, announcing and give you some information, so I don't have to kind of like do it here publicly. So we are going to do that. Oh, look at that, you did as well. Temperance rising, I was just about to say you are going to pick it up, and then Barbie just like got through it. So enjoy your new nails, Barbie. I'm really glad. Edgar Allan Poe, when the universe gives you a gift, take it. Which sign are you? Like, you're like exhibiting this like Four of Pentacles right now. Okay, Cat Brooklyn mode. I was thinking about it. Let's do that. Let's find her. Where is she? There she is. Let's do it, Brooklyn. But that kind of has some, you know, responsibility, which you're already doing, being here, helping around. And also, hopefully you have your Instagram to kind of like share the basically dailies that Lati and I are doing. That would really help. But we can talk about that. So if you need more information, just contact me. My stuff is here below. And I'm going to right now put the music on, and until the next week, guys, you absolutely know, right, that I love you. So love you, love you, love you. Until the next time. Thank you guys for being here with me. Until the next time, all the best.